What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's daily market recap. In today's episode, I'm going to break down all of my trades from the morning. As I sit here right now, I'm up $67,523.08 on the morning. We've got three stocks up over 100%. Our leading gainer is up over 400%. The stock I made the most on squeezed up over 250%. I mean, we are still in this really hot market, and I feel incredibly grateful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down each of the stocks I traded this morning. I'm going to explain why I thought they had the potential to go higher, where I got in, where I got out, and really how I did my due diligence so quickly to know whether the stock had the potential to keep going or if I had to cut my losses. Because I did have some losing trades today, as I will pretty much every single day, because let's be real. Trading is not a game of being right 100% of the time. It's a game of statistics. It's a game of being right more often than you're wrong over long periods of time. And that's how I trade. That is the strategy that I teach, in fact, every single day for our members at Warrior Trading. So in case you missed the memo, our 4th of July sales are ending tomorrow. So for those of you guys who haven't already checked it out, we put together a special bundle this year on our Warrior Pro membership. It includes a 7-day money-back guarantee. So you can spend the next 7 days trading side by side with me and seeing whether or not you like the way I trade, like the way I teach, and like the platform that we've put together. So I encourage you guys to check it out. Now, as part of the Warrior Pro bundle that we've put together, you'll have access to my flagship day trading course, plus you'll have access to the tools that I use every single day, including Day Trade Dash. This is the software right here that I'm using, and you don't have access to it in the sense that you see it on my screen share. You actually have your own installation on a web browser, so you can log in on any device, Mac, PC, doesn't matter. You've got the scanners, the charts, the news feed, my chat room, my live audio video broadcast. It's all built right into this platform here. So you'll have this, plus you'll have access to a trading simulator, because in case you haven't heard me say this, trading is risky. So I want to encourage you to practice these new strategies you're learning in a safe and simulated environment. I'll be the first to tell you, my results aren't typical. I've been doing this for a long time, and that certainly puts me at an advantage. I have a lot of what's called educated intuition from all of my years in the market. My feeling is that if you're a beginner trader, it makes a heck of a lot of sense to trade next to someone who's been doing it for a long time. But it doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful, because although I will give you the strategy, there are certain things that you need to bring to the table. What is that? You need to bring dedication, discipline, and drive. You need to bring that. So if you're ready to listen and to follow the rules of the strategy, then let's get started and let's have a great summer learning how to trade. All right. So again, the only thing better than having a morning as solid as this is the fact that I'm doing it on my traveling trading station, as you can see right here. So I'm actually in Spain right now. This is my laptop. I've got 2 USB monitors, and looking out these wooded windows right here, I've got this view of these mountains here in Spain. So I feel incredibly grateful, not only for the gains, but for the opportunity to trade every day and the opportunity to teach you guys a little bit more about this strategy that for me has been life-changing. So let's go ahead and jump back onto the screen share and start breaking it down. We're going to start with a look at MBIO. This is the stock that, as of right now, currently is up 314%. It's down a little bit off its peak, which was over 400%, and a price of $6.42. Unbelievable, just incredible momentum. But this was not the first stock I traded today. So if we rewind, those of you guys that were tuning in over the weekend, you know that I missed trading on Thursday because I was flying from France to Spain, and the air traffic controllers did a strike in France. I was irate. I was very frustrated. It probably cost me $50,000, if not more, because the momentum on Thursday was just as good as it was today. So I missed a great day of trading, cost a lot of money, really frustrated about it. It is what it is. So I knew that we had some good momentum on Thursday. Then the market was closed Friday, and I didn't know what to expect for this morning. And so when I first looked at the scans, I was down swimming actually, and I looked at the scans at about 5:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and I saw that there wasn't much that was up. But we did have a stock, SONN, that was creeping a little bit higher, and this is a stock that has made a move over the last couple trading sessions. And so I looked at this and I thought, well, It's up about 40%, right? So these were the previous trading sessions, and then this was pre-market today. I thought, okay, that's good. It's definitely popped up and moved a little higher, but there's no fresh news. How much is it really going to go up? I couldn't say for sure. I wasn't very confident, but I didn't have the interest in trading it, at 5:30 in the morning. So it pulled back. It pops back up at, 7, but by 7 a.m. it was below the volume weighted average price, and it was really selling off. So I didn't feel at that time it was very strong. Now, I did end up taking a trade on it later, but this was not the first stock I traded. So when I sat down here at 7 a.m., there was really nothing that looked good. So I actually didn't take my first trade until a little after 7:30, which is a little unusual, but just happened to be the case today. And the stock that I traded, which was my first trade, was SVRE. So SVRE hits our scanners. It actually had popped up on the scans earlier around 4:30 in the morning, sold off, and then came back up again here at 7. Now at 7 a.m., I saw it. I saw it hit I saw it as it was curling up right here at $2.50. I pulled up my level 2 window. I entered an order at 250, and I thought, I don't know. I hesitated. Why did I hesitate? I hesitated because there was no news on it. And I thought, yes, it's moving a little bit, but without news, can I really trust it? It's Monday morning, breaking the ice, first trade of the day, first trade of the week, still early in the month. I don't have a big cushion yet. I missed Thursday. I'm still a little upset about that. Or as the French would say, I'm butthurt. That's a French saying. So still a little butthurt about, missing the action on Thursday. And so I said, I'm going to hold off. So I didn't take a trade on this, and it ends up going from 250 all the way up to 340. And I was like, gosh darn it. I almost got in at 3, and then I was like, no, just don't chase it. Just wait. Because remember, there'll always be another setup. So don't chase this, buy the top, and then sell on the bottom, coming back down. Just wait. So that was 7 a.m. I missed that. It pulls back. But I kept watching it. And right here, the MACD crossed from negative to positive. And as it broke the VWAP, I got back in, or I got in for my first trade. However, I got in a little high. I was watching it. It rejected here. It then pops back up. It rips back to the high. And I'm still watching it, feeling like I can't get quite dialed in on it. It squeezes all the way up to 367 here. And then it dips down. And I said, I'll buy the first 1-minute candle to make a new high. I got in right there. And it rejects. So here's the problem. Good set. Well, it's topping tail candle. Topping tails are always a little bearish. But I bought the first candle to make a new high, getting in at about 357. It pops up to a high of about 367, but it fails to break through a new high of day. And so what that ended up meaning was that we had resistance right here. And so because of that, I got right back out. Now, had that broken through the new high, I probably would have added at 375 or maybe 385 for the squeeze up to 4. But it was not able to break through that previous high, and that right there showed weakness. So I didn't need to wait until it sold off back to 320. I just got right back out. And so my first trade of the day was a $247 loss. That's not so bad, right? So I was wrong. I thought it was going to go higher, and I was wrong, but I took my loss. I got out quickly, eat the loss, and move on, wait for the next setup. So then, and here's my P&L for the day. Now, I'm a little embarrassed to show it to you, and I'll tell you why. I'm embarrassed that I'm only up 5,000 on MBIO. I coulda, woulda, shoulda been up a lot more on it, but we'll get to that one in a minute. So $67,000 on the day, but SVRE was my first trade of the day, and I'm red $247. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit discouraging. The way I approach trading is each day, so I have my strategy, which is the set of parameters that I use to decide whether or not I will even trade a stock. So I call them my 5 pillars of stock 5 pillars of stock selection. Those criteria. So I need those 5 pillars to line up. So all 5 criteria have to match in order for me to consider a stock A quality. But just because I like the stock doesn't mean I like the chart pattern. So now I have to go through a different set of criteria for whether or not I like the chart pattern. So I have certain pre-approved chart patterns that I really like to trade. And then if, of course, it works, then it's a question of, how much money do I make? And that's going to be based on the number of shares that I've bought. So one of the things that I do is I implement an icebreaker strategy where I try to break the ice with smaller size just to kind of get a little profit before I really go heavy. And so I didn't get any profit on SVRE, but I also wasn't in with full size. So then on the next trade, we have a stock that pops up, and it's at about, let's see, what time was this? It was about 7:45. So 7:45, ARTL hits the scans, and this stock squeezes up 200% in less than 10 minutes. It goes from $10 a share to $33. Unbelievable. Now, I'm already familiar with the stock because I made almost $100,000 trading it. Well, I made $99,000 last Monday, and ARTL was one of the stocks I made the most on. It had 30 million shares of volume nearly. So we had this big move last Monday. And so when it popped up on the scans a week later today with news, initially I was a little hesitant. I thought, wait, I see it's popping up, but I was worried that maybe they put out the same headline. Sometimes stocks or some companies will do that, and the stock will pop up, and then it immediately reverses back down. So as I was trying to read the headline, it hits a high of 19, dips down, it pops up to 21 right here, 22, dips down, and I broke the ice with my first trade right around here at $20.79. So that was my first entry, $20.79. It ends up popping up to a high of $23 a share, 24 right here. It breaks 24, it goes up to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, nearly $30. Fantastic. On these first trades, I made about 15 grand. That's good. It's not great. The problem was I felt like I was kind of a little late to the game. The spreads were bigger and I still wasn't totally confident. It ends up dipping down. I got a couple dips on it, buying dips, selling little pops, buying dips, selling little pops. Right here, we went from pivoting down to breaking higher. I got a trade right there, back up to 33, which was one of my better trades of the day. On that trade, I already had a cushion from in here. So I took 6,000 shares, and then I added, as it squeezed higher, to 7,000. And this actually went from $27 all the way up to over $30 right there. So it's a $3 move on 7,000 shares. It's $21,000 from top to bottom. Now that I got the perfect entry and exit, but that's a pretty big move. It then dips down again. And as it dips down a second time, I let it pull back a little bit more. And let me put this back to full screen. So it dips down again, and then it comes back up right here. Second attempt, and then it dips, and then the third attempt right there. So I ended up making about $39,000 on ARTL, which is great. Minus 247 on SVRE, no big deal. I'm in great shape on the day. So then the next stock I traded after ARTL, I traded that from 7:45 up to 8 a.m. We got a little more action on it. And then the next stock I traded was LGPS. You see I'm up $8,000 on it right here. I gave back a little off the top. So LGPS is a cheaper stock. I took my first entry at $1.46 this morning. So it ends up popping up, as you can see here, fairly quickly. Just after 8 a.m., it comes up the scanners, 8:15, squeezes up very quickly here. And I took my first entry right in here at $1.46. It ends up going all the way up to a high of $3. So for my strategy, I don't buy here and then just magically sell right here. How would I know where the top is? So I got in, I got out. I got back in, I got back out. I get back in, I get back out. I get back in, I get back out. I don't trade it through here. I get back in here, I get back out. I get back in, I get back out. And I just actively trade it until we get these kind of rejections. So because of that approach of getting in and getting out, I'll sometimes miss one of the bigger candles. And that's just the luck of the draw. And that ended up being the case on this, and also ended up being the case on MBIO. But I broke the ice, got some profit on it, and this got me up to about nearly $50,000 on the day. So after LGPS, then I switched gears and traded SONN. SONN, this was the stock that I was watching first at the very beginning of the morning, but I didn't end up trading it at 7:30 or 7 a.m. because it was below VWAP. But then all of a sudden, it curls back up, and at about 8:30, right here, we get a second attempt at the VWAP, or a third attempt. So I jumped in it right there, and it goes from 560, 570, all the way up to about 620. It dips back down, it rallies back up, But just in that break of VWAP right there, I was able to make about $9,000. So that was a solid move. But what I was hoping for was a retest of our pre-market high right there. That would have been a lot nicer. So got in, got out, was grateful for that. Took a few more trades on LGPS, added a little more profit there. And then at about 8:45, I traded MBIO for the first time. So MBIO, which is currently up 360%, squeezes and starts to pull away. So at 8:45, I took my first trade on it at $2.26, which actually would have been right around there. Ends up going up to 250, pulls back, comes back up, pulls back, and then I added back right here as it pulls away. Goes up to 3, dips down. I took my biggest position of the day on that candle right there, which is a high volume red candle. So on that candle, the reason I sized up was because I thought that we were going to pull away the way we did here and here, right here. And if we could hold 4, we were looking for a move to 450. I guess you could say I had the right idea, but the wrong timing. But in any case, I sized up here, it squeezes up and then it rejects, and I took a loss. And I gave back more than half of what I had made. And so I actually peaked today at a little over $71,000 on the day, gave back some profit on MBIO, and then made back some profit on a couple other stocks that I traded. But this did go higher without me, and it gives me a little FOMO, but at the open, the way I felt was that I don't want to sit here and trade all day long in Spain. So I want to get in, get green, and get out, and be very diligent about that. And so I actually got up at the open and walked away. So when I came back and saw that candle, I was like, well, that's annoying, but whatever. Topping tails, topping tails, topping tails. But then finally it ended up pulling away here, and I missed that move. But another topping tail up here. So, it is what it is. You're never going to catch the perfect top and bottom of any stock. And today I left some money on the table. But I walk away with some good profit in my pocket, $67,000, and I really can't complain about it too much. So after MBIO, I did have a trade on EJH. This one hit the scanners, popped up, jumped in at 350, got back out at 320, lost $1,200. So very quick entry and exit. It was squeezing, it was moving quickly, but it didn't hold. Then CYCC, this one pops up. I took a starter at 450. It ends up going up to 7. Made about $6,300 on it, but only traded small size. Was sort of thinly traded, wasn't sure about it. Just kind of couldn't tell what was going on, but got a little trade on that one for a little profit. That was 9 a.m. And then as we got closer to the opening bell, I got a couple more trades on MBIO and LGPS, but didn't really add considerable profit. So as we sit here right now, the overall market down a little bit here on Monday morning, but today I'm up nicely. I'm feeling grateful, and I'm going to be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, live streaming at 7 a.m. for members at Warrior Trading. So if you haven't already checked out our specials for the 4th of July, I hope you check it out, and I'll see you guys back at it bright and early tomorrow morning. Reminder, as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk, take it slow, and practice in a simulator before putting real money on the line.